From the grounds of Deptford High School in Deptford, New Jersey, Comcast Channel 5 presents high school basketball. Tonight, a tri-county matchup as the Pitman Panthers take on the Deptford Spartans. Let's go right down to our floor announcer with tonight's starting lineups.
And now for tonight's starting lineups. First for Pitman, number 44, Tim Matchett. Number 53, John Dixon. Number 22, Gene Reed. Number 15, Bill Messenger. And number 21, Marcus Corbett. And now for Deptford, number 3, Irv Ezell. Number 1, Herschel Phillips. Number 24, Nate Boyd. Number 15, Brandon Fox. And number 5, Marcus Kersey.
Well, you can see both teams hyped for this one. Little Pitman going up against the larger Deptford Power. Last year, of course, we saw Deptford in the South Jersey Championship game, and Shawn should be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, you expect these two teams, both of them have had fine seasons. Deptford coming off that heels of the South Jersey Championship, missing a couple of parts from that team, but these kids know how to win close games, big games. You would expect this one with two county teams with the success Pitman had, that Deptford would come in here with an anticipation of playing well. And for Pitman, I mean, this is a big game. They've been playing against Group 1 schools, team within the division, but to go up and play on the road against a Group 3 school and a powerhouse like Deptford certainly is a test, one that you'd want to have prior to the playoffs.
Whistle blows here. And they'll try it again.
Two totally different teams as well. Deptford likes to push it. Pitman likes to slow it down. Pitman with the star in Tim Matchett, one of the top scorers in South Jersey, and Deptford has been basically getting it done as a team.
And quickly his shot underneath is rebounded by the Panthers.
They're bringing up, that's Marcus Corbett, the sophomore point guard. He's filled in nicely for Jimmy York. York had a broken nose in a preseason game, has been sick and ill for another week or so he hasn't been able to get back in, and Corbett has filled in nicely.
One thing that you notice when you get here to Deptford High School is that the volume always turned up. Great place, great atmosphere. Brandon Fox to the line, hits the first. And hits both ends. Your officials tonight, Bill Bradley and Steve Green.
Two good ones.
Excuse me, Chris Green.
He's good too.
Outside the three-point arc. Tipped up, no good. Rebound. Here comes Marcus Kersey, and he'll dish to Irv Ezell. Easy lay-in inside for Herschel Phillips.
Yeah, Herschel Phillips, they kind of expected him to have a pretty decent year, along with Brandon. It's going to be over and back. Another turnover for Pitman. That's one of the things that they're kind of concerned about coming into this game. They were blown out of the gym against Salem, and where they didn't handle the press, it was kind of over at halftime during that game. And that's, if you want to look at one struggle for this Pitman squad, it's handling the pressure. That time really wasn't much pressure, but still the mistakes, turning the ball over. That is what will hurt this Pitman team.
Quickly inside, shot goes up wildly, rebound, and it's going to be Tim Matchett. Laid up and in on the jailbreak by John Dixon.
Hey, John averages 7.5 per game. Gets out on the break nicely there.
And quickly turned right around. Brandon Fox with 4 now.
Yeah, Brandon, he's a kid that he's gotten a little bit of foul trouble because of the different philosophy. There's the mistake that hurt him so much against Salem, something they can ill afford. I mean, you look at basketball scores, Rob, and you look at them, they're in the 40s and 50s. If you turn the ball over like they did against Salem like 5 or 6 times in your own end, and those are layups, easy layups, that's hard to overcome.
Picks up the dribble and now quickly distributed to the corner, finding Corbett.
You're talking about 12 out of the 50 to 60 points out of a game being easy baskets on turnovers.
Outside and Matchett hits. That's a 2-pointer.
Yeah, but just 22.9 per game, pulls down 10.9 rebounds per game.
And again, Deptford quickly off to the races. Pumped up, Matchett knocks it away, rebounded by the Spartans. Underneath, turnaround, an easy lay-in for Herschel Phillips. No one playing the defense there. Pitman's got to be a little bit tighter.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was poor defense. That's way too easy for Herschel to get down underneath. He's a very good ball handler. Sometimes he likes even to dish when he gets into the lane. He's very patient. But you give him that easy look, he'll take it.
Quick 3-point shot inside now. Matchett goes up and uses the glass, kisses it in for his 4th point. You know, right now Pitman on offense just looks a little too anxious. They really need to settle into their offense and take quality shots.
Well, sometimes you're hurried because you think, all right, well, we're going to beat the press and we're going to beat their pressure, and you feel almost like hurried at that point to try and get a good shot off, but you still need to maintain some type of patience on the offensive end and try to work through Timmy Matchett.
Looked like a 3-second violation, so a turnover by the Deptford Spartans. There you see some of the cheerleading crew from the Deptford faithful.
Looked like there's 100 girls there.
It sure did. It looked like a whole regiment. Inside look from Matchett. Turn around, baby hook. Rolls out, rebound. And here comes the Spartans. Ezel feeds an easy lay-in, no, a foul before the shot. A good look for Phillips, trying to add to his quick 6 here. Blocking foul and Deptford basketball.
What I like about Herschel is he runs the floor extremely well, and he moves. He's got great quickness. But one of the other things that he does is he's very smooth and fluid when he has the ball.
Matchett knocks it away. Here come the Panthers looking to penetrate, pull-up jump shot, and Gene Reed hits.
Nice little clutch from Gene Reed.
Gene Reed, the son of assistant coach Gene Reed Sr. I guess I need to add a disclaimer because Gene Reed used to be my assistant baseball coach over my days at Gateway. What a great guy he is, and a tremendous coach. Both baseball-wise, basketball-wise, always high energy.
That was some embrace you guys had before the game. That was nice, touching moment. You could tell that was a coach, assistant coach, a friendship there.
Shawn, one day we won't see each other for a long time, and I'll give you a nice big hug.
Yeah, you know, you could do that before games. A little chest bump or something. Okay. You know, you throw the hand, and you get the hand bump or the forearm bumper in there.
Foul committed, and that foul's going to go against John Dixon.
You just give me hard looks when we see each other. You just give me the shoot me the look like, yeah, you're not sitting in that chair. You better push over on the desk.
On the contrary. Score right now 12-8. A bit of a track meet, and Shawn, this is really right now playing into Deptford's hands. They'd really like this up-tempo game.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to like the fact that they can get up the floor, move it around. And one thing that they're doing, especially with Herschel, is he's starting to get into that lane and get some easy buckets. That's something Pitman's going to have to negate if they want to stay in this game. And here's Herschel. Yeah, there's a little reach in there.
But again, that's a hustle play by John Dixon, a little bit of a reach, and you know, not a bad foul and stopping the easy lay-in. But look at the team fouls, and you know, a lot of times what people don't understand is that right there is really indicative of the speed difference. I mean, the Spartans
right
much
there.
quicker.
You're just pointing the team fouls.
Well, yes, the graphic that's up, yes. Big rebound here by Dixon. Quick outlet to Reed. Reed feeds Matchett. Matchett will penetrate. Nice drive inside and gets the shooter's roll.
Nice strong power move by Matchett on that play.
Matchett getting a few looks from some small Division II schools and a variety of Division III schools. I think that may change as the season evolves. being one of the top scorers here in South Jersey. 3-point shot too strong, rebounded again by Matchett, and Pitman has an opportunity to lock this up at 12 or go ahead by 1.
Yeah, Matchett's already been offered a partial scholarship from Felician.
Gene Reed is hot, hot, hot. He has 4.
Gets those skills from his father.
Nice move inside, laid up and rebounded by Fox, who has 6. So Fox Sly with the rebound, laying it in.
In fact, Gene Reed's been around. I mean, he was in Woodbury for a little while. He's been around, so a lot of people in the county know about Gene Reed, and he's helped a lot of kids out coaching, a lot of different programs. Good guy.
Actually lives in our viewing area.
Mention that as well. Now transformed into a Pitman guy, but we'll allow it. Pitman's a neighboring town.
Pitman's a great place. Small town, a lot of pride, has had a rich history both in basketball, have turned out quite a few good, solid baseball players, always quality soccer teams. So a lot of quality athletics in a small town like Pitman. And, you know, the community typically really rallies around their student athletes.
In fact, we had 2 of the standouts from Pitman. Maggie Dutil, we saw playing a game earlier. This was a doubleheader, girls, boys doubleheader. Nice move on the inside by Dixon that time.
Nice with his left hand, using his body to shield.
Ties the game up. Along with Maggie Dutil, also Steve Soller, who's going to be going to F&M. Franklin and Marshall play football, so congratulations to him.
Ball knocked out as Batty looked to drive. Pitman also has a great athletic director in Mike McAleer, who just started there last year, and a fantastic superintendent in Tom Schultz. They got all the pieces in place.
Yeah, it's all the pieces are in place. He had some big shoes to fill, too, with Wayne Marshall there, but he took on that role admirably.
Mike McAleer, the son of the former athletic director, Frank McAleer, who was at Eastern for such a long time and has the football stadium named after him. 3-point shot, and Gene Reed
filling it up
on fire. 7 points here early for Reed. 17-16, Pitman takes their first lead.
Since we named about half the people in Gloucester County, we'll get to the second half.
I just went through the whole Pitman phone book, actually. Looking to penetrate a dish and a 3-point shot. Good.
We're name dropping like we got pulled over.
What's that?
We're name dropping like we got pulled over.
Freddie Batty. I like that line. Is that your own line?
My publicist just handed it to me.
Inside, Matchett. I tell you, you're pulling out the A material tonight, Leary.
This is a big game. I knew I had to come with it. It's a loud gym. You get excited about this gym in a big game, so throw some out in the first quarter. We got a good one, 19-17. Deptford with the lead, Matchett now to the line, and we've seen probably what both coaches expected. Matchett getting a lot of touches on the offensive end for Pitman. Deptford trying to run and create with Herschel Phillips, and it's kind of what you expected.
Well, it's 19-17, and that's what he was trying to do with the foul line. Match Deptford's 19, but has 1 of 2. Matchett, the one thing that really impresses you when you see him is his coordination. I mean, you saw it listed at 6'6", but you know, the nice coordination pass of a point guard. Nice look inside, laid up and in by Boyd. And this Deptford team trying to get back on a roll. They've hit hard times of late, but starting to get back together.
Might try and hold here, work the ball around the perimeter. Maybe if something flashes to the basket, someone flashes to the basket, they might throw it up, but they're just going to try and be patient here, work for that final shot.
21-18, inside of 10 seconds now. Matchett, a little turnaround, baby hook is short, rebounded by Deptford. They're going to have to hustle. They do have time, down to 3 seconds now. And looking to penetrate, pulls up a 4, and that would have been good, but too strong. Phillips unable to close the deal, but we head to break. It's Deptford by 3. Welcome back to Deptford High School. It's a good one here. Not surprisingly, Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary. I don't think we ever introduced ourselves. 21-18. It's probably better off. Inside of the Deptford Gymnasium. They've seen a lot of great basketball here. Deptford quickly on the steal, fed inside, and off glass and good. Herschel Phillips now in double digits.
Yeah, he's filling up the score sheet. That's why Deptford, I mean, you can see they turn defense into offense very quickly. And if you don't get back and hustle and stop the ball, you're going to get an easy basket on you. That's why it's so important to get back on defense. And Pitman, with a team that really only goes 6 or at most 7 deep, conditioning could be a factor at a game like this. Because Deptford is absolutely going to be pushing and testing.
Brian Wilson looking to penetrate. Wilson kicks it out. Open look, nothing but net for Fred Batty. He has 4.
And that was set up by Wilson. Nice job by him. He dribbles around his man, gets into the lane, uses his body extremely well, and gets a nice pass off. And when you're able to set up your teammates, that's why a point guard is such an important position in basketball. Is setting up that open jump shot. You know, a lot of these kids can shoot and hit the open jump shot, but it's about getting the open jump shot, making sure that the point guard is able to move the ball. And also you distribute the ball quickly. Try to get those passes off. That usually sets up a nice look.
25-18 as you see at the bottom of your screen.
You can see here how they work the ball around quickly and then you get an open jump shot. That's a perfect example there.
And Batty with the tray.
And they didn't look around, they just swung the ball around the perimeter.
So Pitman now outscored 12-1.
Nice look. Oh, he waited
away. And heading to the line will be Marcus Corbett.
He didn't expect to be that wide open. Corbett was wide open underneath, no one around him. He pump faked, no one was there, and allowed the Deptford defender to come through. Now he's going to get a couple of shots, but the sophomore point guard, who looks a 68% free throw shooter.
Remember, Pitman was leading this game 17-16 and now trailing by 10 as Corbett misses the first.
This is where you start thinking there's a lid on that basket. When you get a run, you can't hit a free throw.
So Corbett hits the tail end. It's 28-19, and Pitman shows a little bit of a press now. See the run that I had mentioned, 9-1. Inside, maybe a little of a walk, but a turnaround, and Nate Boyd. To tell you, what I'm impressed with here early, Shawn, is the balance that Deptford has illustrated.
Yeah, like I said, two different teams where you have Matchett, who's kind of been the go-to guy for Pitman and Deptford. A very balanced team. And Deptford, over the last few years, they've had that go-to guy in Ison Poe. And also, and Ricky Cruz as well over the last couple of seasons. They've had that go-to guy. A Cruz over at Monmouth, Ison Poe at Temple. Ison Poe's filled out a little. He was always a leaper, a guy that can shown a lot of athleticism, jump through the roof. Now he's put on some weight. He's looking good. He's getting excited to be playing at Temple. I think they're pretty excited to have him as well.
Rebound by Reed. Here come the Panthers, trailing by 11. Deptford, a lot of quality athletes.
Oh, yeah.
Not only in basketball, but also in football. Matchett inside, and they're going to call this against Matchett. So Wilson, nice job drawing the charging foul.
Ever Wilson, little guy taking the charge there, showing no fear. Just going to get up underneath. Match it, all 6'6" of them is going to fall on top of Wilson.
Brian Wilson feeling some good vibrations.
Yeah, I don't know if they were good vibrations. When you hit that floor, it doesn't feel that good. I get you, Brian Wilson. I like it.
Okay, I like that. Of course, our high school viewers have no idea.
No, they have no idea Brian Wilson. They have no idea Brian Wilson knew Good Vibrations is.
And Pitman across the timeline. That's Messenger. Actually, dishes to Corbett. Beat up tightly by Kersey.
To be honest with you, neither did I. I just went along with it.
Yeah.
I kind of figured it out, the Good Vibrations. Like, I remember listening to my parents, records back in the day. They'd have it on Saturday afternoon.
It was your parents.
I think.
Here's Corbett. Down by 11. Reed. They look to create some separation. It's stolen away. That by Ezel. Ezel will feed to Wilson. Wilson, and he's fouled. That foul by Dixon.
You make a mistake on the offensive end, and that's where you really have some problems because Deptford's going to try and run. When you make the mistake, you know what? You got to hustle back. And Wilson's just going to get out on that break, and Dixon is forced to come behind and foul. But the one thing we're seeing here is it's really not even the press that's bothered them so much. Rob, it's just they're trapping them. They're making poor decisions with the basketball. Pitman is on the offensive end, and Deptford is just going from defense and transitioning that right into the offensive flow, and they're getting easy baskets on the break. Pitman has to stop the break.
Well, Pitman's really had some trouble with this one-on-one defense, and here's Corbett getting bided up. Inside turnaround jump shot, rims out, rebound again, Deptford, and Deptford has certainly owned the boards.
I think you made a real good point earlier. What Pitman's doing, here's a good look. That's just money in the bank. When Wilson is that wide open and he's in the corner, he's able to, again, you're going to knock down those open jumpers more times than not.
So Brian Wilson with the tray, he has 5, and Wilson's a nice little player. He's someone that kind of flies below the radar screen, but we've seen quality defense and a nice touch from the free throw line, of course, hitting that big 3, and all of a sudden Deptford has extended that lead now to 16.
And for Pitman, I think you made the good point is when they seem like they're getting down and they're not being patient whatsoever. They get one good look and they're trying to fire it up. And I think they really need to try and work the ball around. And watch, this is money right here. Wilson, you get him in the corner, no one around him, you get a great look at the basket. He's able to drop it down for 3 points, giving Deptford a 35-19 lead here. And I think everyone in the gym now is a little bit surprised at Deptford jumping out to a 16-point lead. Good timeout. Steve Gangloff, coach for Pitman's got to settle down the troops a little bit.
Deptford eases on the press, and now Corbett will be matched up, and he'll feed to Dixon. Reed up top, and he'll take the 3 from way out. He shot that from Mullica Hill. Reed now with 10 on a pair of trays.
Yeah, that was deep. But if you got an open shot, it depends who you are. Reed, he's the type of guy. Good decision by matchup. Reed's the type of guy, if he gets a good look, you want him to take the shot because he's got such a sweet touch from the outside.
And Dixon finds some space underneath. He has 6. Gangloff said that Reed was really the key to this team coming together. He was really the missing piece. And when he transferred here from Clearview, it was just a major gain for the Panther program. Jump ball. Possession arrow points to the Spartans. 35-24.
Speaking of the Pioneers, I think we're going to be doing Clearview this year as part of that Tri-County Colonial Conference shootout. We have them penciled in on the schedule. Paulsboro-Shalleck, a doubleheader. First Tri-County, this is the first year they're having the Tri-County Colonial shootout. It's like the ACC Big Ten shootout that they have in the beginning of the year.
And I think that's something they should do in all sports, really. Well,
excellent idea, yeah.
Obviously football's a different story, but 3-point shot And Batty now with 10. So balanced attack here, but over in the Olympic Conference, they're doing that with the Cape Atlantic, which is nice as well. Pull-up jump shot, and right now, Gene Reed is as hot as they come. 38-26.
It's perfect for basketball. I mean, it's set up where you can have it in one gym. You can have 3 or 4 or 5 games in a row, and it's just it's going to be very entertaining for the fans.
Pull-up jump shot, too strong. Rebound tipped out. 38-26, Panther basketball. 2:23 left in this first half, and the Panthers really need to put together a bit of a scoring streak here to keep it close as they head to the locker room. Gene Reed pull-up jump shot strong, match it with the rebound. He's fouled. Foul committed by Marcus Kersey.
And see, that was a quick shot, so why is that a good shot? And people might say, well, you just said, you know, you're shooting too quick. There, Matchett had position for a nice weak side rebound, so if you go long with it or even short with it, Matchett's in good position. And then with Gene, I mean, he's got such a nice shot that's a great look. You don't mind that if you're Steve Gangloff.
Matchett looks inside, finds Dixon, and he gets the roll. Dixon with 8.
He's got a nice touch around the basket. Like I said, I think he averages 7.5 points a game.
And a block by Dixon. The foul is called.
Pitman side did not like the call. They thought that was a clean block.
Third foul for Dixon, and that's critical because, again, this Panther team not very deep, maybe goes 6 or 7 deep typically. Let's take a look at the foul committed by Dixon.
He didn't get him with the body, so he would have had to swipe him across the arms. Nonetheless, he has 3 fouls, and he's going to have to be extra careful now. He doesn't get in foul trouble. Or get another foul, that 4th foul. He's already in foul trouble.
Knocked away by Kersey. 1:47 left. 11-point edge for the Spartans. Tri-County matchup. One of the smaller schools against one of the larger. End-to-end, nothing called underneath. And
Pitman bench wanted the charge. Gangloff argues to no avail, and in a 13-point lead. Pick up to Deptford. If you're Pitman here, you wanted 2 good possessions and try to get this into single digits.
Match's shot is too strong, and Deptford now. And Dixon almost got his 4th foul.
Even Match tells him stop. You don't want to pick up that 4th foul. Matchett's got to hustle back down the defensive end. There's a couple times he's been standing around the paint on the offensive side. He's got to get back down and help out defensively. They're getting a lot of transition baskets, and with his 6'6" frame, he might be able to deter a few of those.
3-point shot too strong. Rebound. It's going to be Corbett for Pitman. He's going to push across the timeline. Feeds inside. Turnaround off glass. In and out. Here come the Spartans. Inside of 40 seconds. Ezel now double team. Feeds up top. And he finds Boyd. Deptford content to eat clock. Inside of 25 seconds now. And they'll hold for the last. They hold a 13-point edge. 41-28. Down to 15 seconds. Some good defense by Dixon. Knocked away with 13.8 left.
Yeah, I mean, you see Dixon on that left side with the 3 fouls. This would be a perfect spot to try and work on him and maybe either allow him to pick up that 4th foul, or that's just too easy. Just too easy. I mean, Pitman's defense has been very suspect through this game. It's just, it doesn't seem like the effort there. I would say that Deptford has come out and out-hustled Pitman in this game, has outplayed them, out-hustled them, and outworked them, and that's why they have a 15-point lead.
Well, Deptford heads to the locker room with the decided advantage, 43-28 as we head to break. Welcome back to Deptford High School. Wrapping up intermission. Halftime stats, Deptford with an impressive field goal percentage, 57%, and looking from 3, 50%. 5 for 6 from a free throw line, 16-0 bench points. That's probably not a surprise, but their shooting has been spot on.
Spot on, you're right. I mean, Gene Reed, he's 5 for 11. That's some nice individual points. But, the turnovers, 6 to 3. And those 6, I guarantee those 6 turnovers turned into 12 points. I mean, Deptford was scoring at will once they were able to move the ball from that turnover and get it quickly into an offensive set, and basically just breakaways. I mean, they were basically just breakaways that Deptford was able to use Herschel or one of the other guys to set up its offense immediately.
One of the things that probably didn't really surprise us in that graphic was the edge and bench points. We know that Pitman, not necessarily the deepest bench versus a Deptford team that, that's maybe their strong point.
Well, we saw the cheerleading squad. They got 70 over there, but they got as many kids on the bench. And when you can move those guys in and out, and Pitman, like you said, they go 6 to 7 deep, and that's about it. It's a small Group 1 school against a Group 3 school, and you expect the disparity in how many kids they have available coming off the bench. Quality kids that are able to play at this level, this varsity level.
And one big note in that second quarter, Matchett was held off the tally sheet, and that really made the difference in that second quarter. So 43-29, a 14-point edge for Deptford. They start on offense, and the ball rolled.
We have an argument quite often that a Group 1 school against a Group 3 or Group 4 school, it's hard for a Group 1 to compete against another team in football because you have 11 guys. In basketball, you got to only find 5 guys, and a couple guys to come off the bench. That's why a Group 1 is able to compete with Group 3 and 4. I mean, look what Pitman did with the Crispins. They were able to have a terrific tournament.
And in fairness, in football, it's probably even more than 11,
way more than 11. Right?
Not everybody's going to go both ways.
So there's more of a, you're going to find a weakness eventually with a Group 1 school that a Group 4 school would be able to exploit.
45-29, Deptford working perimeter.
And that's not saying you might not find 2 of the best players on the field that day would be from Group 1, from the Group 1 school.
Well, and again, if you look at Haddonfield, it was a power for how many years straight you have Ryan Zubek, who changes the complexion of a team just being on the court no matter who is around him. And of course, he's an anomaly, but it really illustrates that in a football sense, you can probably work around that.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll look at Tim Matchett, what he's done for Pitman this year. Tim being that one guy, a force, and then you get some role players around him, a guy who can shoot like Gene Reed, and you have a terrific season, a season we're going to get into the playoffs, make some noise, and hopefully, get yourself deep into that playoff tournament.
We talked before about Matchett and maybe playing on a Division II, Division III level. One of the things that he's going to need to do to impress his college coaches is hustle down both ends of the court a little bit more. And because he can have that type of presence defensively, although Deptford comes away with the bucket.
You see him right there. He blocks 2 shots on that possession, but Deptford able to still get the ball and score there. But, I mean, he can change the game defensively as well.
Matchett in traffic, knocked away. And now here comes Deptford. Off glass, too strong, rebound, knocked away, rebound, garbage put in. And that looked like it was Phillips. Timeout called, 49-29, things starting to get away from the Panthers.
I think that might have been Nate Boyd who cleaned up on that play. You can see here, I mean, this is Deptford, just quick transition, moving the ball up court. You can see everyone crashing the boards. You watch Boyd come down with it here. Right there, it's tipped around into Boyd's hands, and he's able to clean up, kiss it off the glass, and extend this lead now to 20, Rob.
Well, remember, it was 17-16, Pitman with the edge. Since that time, if my math skills serve me right, 33-12.
This is coming from an English teacher, huh?
Yes.
Not bad, not bad.
Hopefully I had no dangling modifiers.
I'll leave that one alone. Better move on.
49-29.
Get myself into trouble. I talk.
It's been a while
too
since
much.
I kind of miss you, Sean. I'll start calling you more often. Maybe give you a phone call and we'll watch a basketball game. We'll call it together over the phone.
Yeah. Rare turnover there.
Yeah, Deptford has really played a nice game tonight. Stingy with the basketball. Solid shooting and some good technique underneath. They've really boxed out well to pull down their line share of rebounds. Deptford again pushing, unable to save it. Now Deptford coming into this game, they desperately needed a win. They're coming off a very, very tough loss to Highland on the 1st of February, and then followed that up with a 11-point loss to Washington Township. They beat Cumberland on January 30th, but that is their only win in the last 5 games.
Yeah, they're really 2 of 6. 2 wins in the last 6 games. They lost a game to Pensgrove. That started a little streak. I mean, they did pretty well. They lost to Shalleck early in the season, went on a run. And you know what? You talked to Billy Hoskins, Rob, and he said, as a team, this team has played together better than last year's South Jersey squad throughout the course of the season. You know, from early on, they were able to play as a team. The Spartans played as a team late last year, but they struggled. If you remember, in the beginning of the year, they struggled just to make the playoffs. They had to win, pretty much win out to even get in the playoffs, and they went on the run. Really came together and ended up beating Camden for the South Jersey title.
Deptford will maintain possession, 49-31. Deptford's season really illustrates the adage that confidence breeds confidence and failure breeds failure. After a loss, they went on an 8 straight game winning streak, and then things fell apart. Again inside, and finally Matchett pulls away.
This is the type of effort tonight, and this could breed a winning streak. I mean, you look at the team, the way they're playing, they're hustling on both ends of the court. They're getting to the glass. Everyone's shooting with a lot of confidence, and they're hitting the outside jumpers.
And things getting a little sloppy now with 3:40 left. Drive inside, and Phillips again with the deuce.
Those of us that know him, we call him Hirsch, but Hirsch is really smooth with the ball. I mean, you can see when he gets to that baseline, just really smooth, even though he has a nice outside shot by Matchett.
Speaking of smooth.
But just the way Hirsch will glide with the basketball and still has a nice touch. And that's after exploding off his drive. But you can see some guys, you know, when they go up for the basket, you can see they'll clank it hard off the rim, and everything seems like it's, you know, a little bit difficult for him. With a guy like Herschel at his size, he's got such a fluid motion when he gets into that lane. That's what makes him dangerous too, because this is a good passer. Once he gets in the lane, he'll find the open man. So that makes him that much more deadly when he gets into the painted area, or what they call the painted area. Because here it's not necessarily painted a different color.
That's your disclaimer?
Yeah. Figured I'd point that out. People will be looking for the paint. They're wondering, what the heck am I talking about? The painted area looks like out of bounds to me at this gym, right?
33-50.
20-point edge once again for Deptford.
When you get to a 20-point game, you start talking about paint, football,
Dangling modifiers.
Dangling modifiers. Gotta start being a little bit more creative.
Corbett with the basketball, looks inside for Matchett, a little bit of a push. And a Bronx cheer from the Pitman faithful.
Let's see if Pitman can put a little run together here before the fourth quarter, make it interesting.
You don't hear a lot of Bronx cheers in South Jersey.
No, you don't. Is Matchett getting the push along the baseline? They're collapsing real hard down. I mean, this is what he's been facing pretty much all year. So he'll get the ball and they'll just collapse on him.
Pull up jump shot. You're just starting to come to you.
Yeah, just think
like
about
a
that
line.
Bronx
It's starting
cheer.
to age and just gets better.
Starting to remember when the last time I had a good Bronx cheer was.
Inside, and there is Fox.
I might try to put one together this weekend.
Yeah.
Get a bunch of guys just get down to a park somewhere. Not like anybody will be out there. It's 10 degrees outside.
I usually get them when I enter the gym.
Yeah.
Here's Corbett. Now Matchett up top, feeds, dishes,
Good luck.
and rims in and out. That's one element of Matchett's game that I think a lot of people don't recognize. He has great vision and can really distribute. Aaron shot, and Hoskins calls timeout.
Yeah, he notices, and this is where I like. This is why Hoskins, I think, is a terrific coach. His team's up by 22, but he sees his team is getting a little sloppy with the ball, and he's not going to settle for his team to play poorly. And he understands that, it doesn't matter if you're winning, if you're losing, if you're playing poorly, you're not going to do well at the end of the year. And I think that's what makes him be such a special coach. Last year, his team was struggling a little bit, and they just weren't playing well, and he really didn't like the way they were playing. And he sat the starters down, and he said, listen, this is – you guys are not playing well. I don't care what it takes. If we're going to sit you down, I know we should have had a pretty decent year, but if this is going to be what it takes for us to improve, then I'm going to sit you down. He sat him down. They came back. Ever since that time, they went on the run, ended up winning the South Jersey title. And it's it's certain things that you do as a coach, and certain times that you make the calls. And you wonder, all right, well, you got a 22-point lead. How much more can you be coaching your team to do a better job? But that's what takes it for to have a championship team, is that you need to play a consistent game. When you're out there, you play as well as you could possibly play. Don't make the mistakes. Don't have turnovers, because like you said, confidence breeds confidence. Mistakes will breed as well, and you have mistakes in one game that'll carry over to the second game, and you might find yourself on the losing end of a 22-point game.
Fred Battie will shoot three. He shot a few threes tonight. He has 3 trays, 11 points, and he'll look to extend that total. Misses the first. For 2 from the line, Battie. And now Pitman with some wholesale changes. Checking out, it's Dixon and Messenger.
They're going to get Kelly and Gibbs coming into the game, sophomore and junior. Good chance for them guys to get some minutes here against a pretty good Deptford team and see how they play against the better competition. These guys may get some good minutes when Pitman is up against some of the weaker opponents in the Classic division.
Push call. Playoff bound, Pitman will likely face Riverside or Wildwood. Wildwood boasts Anthony Raffa. Many would argue the top player in all of South Jersey, and Riverside coached by Paul Collins.
I think Raffa might play Wildwood Catholic.
Ball lost inside. Paul Collins, the head coach at Riverside, longtime head coach at Willingboro.
Needless to say, that Wildwood team's a solid team who they know a lot about. They play with them in that Classic division. Raffa, the leading scorer in South Jersey, lighting it up, and I believe he may be going to Albany for his basketball career. A couple good ones in South Jersey this year. In fact, we're going to be talking about that next week on the High School Sports Report, the basketball edition. We're going to be going through some of the must-sees this year, some of the seniors that you might want to go take a look at if you want to see some good players, some guys that are going to go on to play some college ball. Clarence Jackson, a guy at Cherokee that a lot of people think has a terrific game.
Another turnover here, and Wilson squares up for the jump shot. It's short. Rebound, match it inside of 20 seconds now. And here's Gene Reed. Reed working off the pick, picks up the dribble and feeds. That's Kelly. Kelly look inside for Matchett, and he is fouled by Brandon Fox.
2 for 4 from the line, 12 points.
Matchett 2 for 4 from the free throw line. $12 points. They'll look to add to that.
It's just one of those nights. You know, it's just nothing's working for you. They seem sluggish.
They have played quite a few games. I would venture to say Pitman has played more games than any team in South Jersey, coming into this game playing 20 games, quite a few. But it's in large part due to the breakup of the conferences in the Tri-County that they are forced to schedule in that fashion. We're through 3 quarters of play here at Deptford High School. It's been all Deptford. They're on top by 22. One quarter remaining here at Deptford High School. It's Deptford on top, 56-34. Rob Christ along with Shawn Leary bringing you Tri-County matchup, and Tim Matchett draws the foul. Quite a mountain to climb, but Matchett starts the process, and he'll head to the free throw line.
A good strong power move by Matchett that time, and it looked like Deptford just got a little confused under the basket, and Matchett went in pretty much uncontested. Gets himself to the line where it hasn't been very kind to him.
Matchett finishes the three-point play. Inside look. Rims out, rebound, it's Gibbs. And here comes Gene Reed.
They got to get him involved here in the fourth quarter. He had a terrific first half, and the third quarter became complacent.
And foul called. Ezel will head to the free throw line. He now has 4.
Easy for Ezel. I mean, that pass, it was not a strong pass by Matchett. Herb's able to jump in front of it, go coast to coast, and just the speed alone was able to get past Matchett.
Rims in and out. And Reed forces out Ezel. Pitman basketball. And that's again kind of the hustle you see from Gene Reed. Although the game looks to be out of reach, he's still scrapping.
Yeah, what Deptford's playing has been here today. It's pretty easy to see they're collapsing down on Matchett, and they've done a nice job now jumping out against Gene Reed. There you see the turnovers for the Panthers, 13 of them tonight. Only 6 for Deptford.
Rims out, rebound Spartans. Wilson gets the roll.
Wilson's looked impressive tonight. We talked about him earlier. Defensively, distributing, shooting, working the ball to the basket. At the free throw line, he's had a nice game.
See him D'ing up Corbett.
I mean, when you have guys that could come off your bench and play the way Wilson has, that's just something to the depth of your team.
Alex Kelly on the tally sheet. Backcourt violation. Now, look at some of the fashions. Of course, back in the 80s, the shorts were quite high. You'd see Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and it was kind of creeping up all the way up the thigh. Now, the shorts aren't so short. They're all the way down to the calf.
That's a good idea.
When does it stop becoming a short and start to become a capri?
Capri?
Yes. Because you are our fashion expert here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're not really shorts anymore. I don't know, Capri though. Capri seems like you stick a straw in it and you drink from it.
Well, that's what they're called, capris, when they're above the ankle.
Oh, yeah?
Correct.
I don't know. That's something we'll have to work on. I'm gonna have to check in with my people, my publicists, see if we can.
Why don't you fire off of that question to the style
Editor at the Gloucester County
network?
Times.
Well, that too.
Might be able to work something out. Saw a shot earlier of Mary Beato, one of the Pitman girls players. Pitman has a good team. The girls squad. Mary Beato, Shaylee McFall. Shaylee McFall, congratulations to her. She's going to surpass. And I'm going to get this wrong, but I know her last name is Friedman, and I apologize, Miss Friedman, because she's the all-time leading scorer for girls basketball by a female. And Shaylee McFall is going to surpass her. Might even be tonight as we air this on Wednesday night. I believe the girls team is playing on Wednesday. She has a pretty good shot to beat that mark. And this guy right here, Tim Matchett, coming into the game, I think he needed 33 points to surpass Eddie Armstrong, who graduated in 1989 as the third leading scorer in Pitman. And he won't catch the other two, but he'll be able to put his name up there, passing Eddie Armstrong of 1,601 points. Armstrong third on that list. John and Joe Crispin make up the other two. Little Pitman history lesson right there.
We've learned quite a bit about Pitman this evening.
Yeah, well, you know, talking around, and some of it recall from memory. I graduated right around the Eddie Armstrong era. Actually, I graduated that same year. So I knew Eddie. Clearview did not fare well against Eddie Armstrong.
See Jim Urick at the line.
Yes, Urick. He broke his nose in the preseason. And became ill, so he's getting some minutes here, just trying to get his legs underneath of him. But he's a guy that can bring a little bit of that depth if he's able to get a few games in here before the playoffs, because he was a starting point guard. And Corbett has done a terrific job with Urick out of there. Urick, a real light-hearted guy, too. One of the real funny guys. Keeps the team loose, and I'm glad they have, I'm sure that they're glad to have him back in the locker room. Just keep things light, have some fun at practice a little bit.
Timeout called. Pitman reduces the point total to 22. Apropos, as it was 22 Gene Reed who hit. Send to break. Welcome back to Deptford High School. And Deptford end-to-end, laid up and in. It's Herschel Phillips. Quickly, Pitman. Reed feeds inside for Matchett with the easy deuce. 20 now for Matchett. His average 23. He's going to try to match it.
I got you. Match it.
There's Reed. Pulls up the dribble. Feeds. Dixon. Now Urick. Reed, a long three-point shot. Rims out. Rebound. Foul called. And this looks like will go against Pitman. Fourth foul on Dixon. He had three, a couple minutes left in the first half, and they stayed out of trouble.
Not really stopping the ball on that break. That's something Pitman struggled with all night.
Of course, I said stay out of trouble, and he now has fouled out of the game.
There's Mary Beata. We talked about her early on, just junior. She was the Clay Awards Athlete of the Year last season. I'm sure she's going to be one of those again. And right in front of her is Maggie Dutil. Maggie there at the end. See her in the white sweater. Yeah, and there you go, waving hi to the camera. Maggie's part of the standout.
Sweaters usually don't have a hood on the back.
The sweatshirt, hooded sweatshirt. She's got that in the capri.
That's right. We saw her a couple weeks ago against Gloucester Catholic.
Yep. Miss Pitman.
A woman of all talents. Miss Pitman, a great piano player, tremendous basketball player.
Good athlete, too. She was, as I said, part of the standout, and she did well there. She showing that she can compete in a lot of different events. She wasn't the best horseshoe thrower. No. That's one of the few things I think Maggie is not her strong suit. I'm sure she could work on it.
That's one of those sports that comes later in age.
Yeah.
Once you hit 50, then you start to hit your prime in horseshoes.
Yeah, you do. And it becomes very competitive, too.
You always have to have something in your other hand, too, when you're playing that.
Right, just to balance it out. Maybe it's another horseshoe or something different. But, yeah, it becomes very competitive. As athletes, you go from running around like crazy playing the different sports to just basically standing there throwing horseshoes, but that's still that same competitive spirit stays.
Right, and then you start to calculate how many hours you played horseshoes and then figure out how many calories you burned.
And your neighbors count how many hours you've been out there playing with your buddies.
Match it inside.
And when they should finally call the cops on you.
That's right. The cops become the statisticians.
People out there know what I'm talking about.
Especially in the Leary neighborhood. This is what happens when it's a 71-48 game.
Yeah, I mean, it's, not a close one. And expected to be a close one. That's why it's very surprising that this game got out of hand because I think take a look at the scoring there, and it's just the defense for Pitman, especially in that first half, very uncharacteristic of that team. But they seem to struggle against the teams that can push the ball and have that up-tempo style of play, and it's about confidence against those teams as well. You start seeing those teams, you start thinking, well, if this team's going to run, we're in trouble. And that started with Salem. One of the games they were able to do pretty well in that was against Clayton. Clayton, an athletic team, but they were able to break the press early on. They gained some confidence. Here, Deptford really hasn't done a lot of pressing. There hasn't been a lot of full court pressing where they're making mistakes. What's happening is Pitman is turning the ball over on the offensive end, and Deptford is transitioning that into its offense, and they're getting a lot of breaks, getting out on the break and just beating Pitman down the floor. Something that Coach Gangloff will have to correct. Like you said, going up against Wildwood and Riverside, you're going to see teams take advantage of that against this Pitman team. Coaches will find something, they'll say what works against this team, and we'll just hammer it home until they can stop it.
Well, it's not for lack of trying, as Pitman really worked on that press. In fact, employing a practice that many have done, having 6 players play defense against you as they press.
Right. And they've been able to break the press. That's what you scratch your head and say, all right, listen, now we got another problem that we need to fix. And that's what coaching is, Rob, is you could probably attest to this. You talk to a lot of coaches. They say you constantly have to make adjustments. In some sports, baseball, I guess you have to make some adjustments, maybe not as other sports, but you make adjustments throughout the game, throughout a season. And, you have to be able to teach how the kids to make those adjustments. In a basketball game, especially where a game that flows like basketball or football, you have to make the adjustments on the fly.
Inside of 2 minutes now, and the reserves have come. Charles Robert with the three-point play.
Especially nowadays, you have so many offensive sets and defensive looks, so many different things that nowadays you really have to have smart players as well, not just good athletes. And that's one of the things that Billy Hoskins, coach for Deptford, really likes with his team is he really believes that he has a bunch of smart players this year that really understand what to do. He thinks Herschel Phillips is a very smart kid and really gets the game.
Inside, and a foul call. So heading to the free throw line, Kevin Gibbs looking for his first points of the game. And that rims out, so Gibbs misses on his first attempt.
Boy, struggle at that line tonight for the Panthers.
Not a whole lot has gone right for Pitman tonight.
Yeah, this is one where you kind of say, listen, guys, we didn't do much of anything that was any good tonight, so let's try and just regroup. And you mentioned earlier the amount of games there. Pitman might be a little bit tired now, and coming in a hostile environment. It's a Group 3 school who likes to push the ball. It's just set up for a Deptford win tonight, and they took advantage, up by 28 now.
Approaching the 1 minute mark. Jump shot too strong, rebound inside, and it is Gibbs that comes away.
There was Jared Winningham on that shot, a sophomore that Billy Hoskins really likes. That was for Deptford.
Shot, that's Alex Kelly.
Congratulations also to Pete Orio, father of a brand new spanking baby boy, 3 weeks old.
Nice.
Congratulations to the Orio family. Good stuff going on. We like to talk about it. You always hear the negative stuff, but we're bringing you all types of different congratulations to this kid or this coach.
And you well know the joys of parenthood.
Hey, good times. Well, he's already has 2 of them. This is his 3rd. So congratulations there.
So he'll be very tired when we see him during football season.
Yeah, he said he's beat now. He's out here coaching. And, first thing he said to me is, I'm tired.
Inside of 30 seconds, 78-54. Deptford has been in control for some time. Pitman did have a lead early in the game, 17-16 the edge. 3-point shot rims out, rebound Panthers. Now Urich. Urich will look to penetrate, pull up with the left hand, rims in and out. And here comes Deptford now, trying to add and get to the 80-point mark. They'll hold the basketball, and that will do it. Deptford making a statement, defeating the Panthers 78-54. Decisive victory for the Spartans. Stick around, post-game interviews and a wrap. We'll have it for you right after this. Welcome back to Deptford High School. Deptford victorious 78-54, and Deptford getting ready for the playoffs. Tight game early, but the press a little bit too much for Pitman.
Yeah, I mean, where Pitman struggled basically is on the defensive end is really not stopping the ball. That's really the problem that they had. It wasn't about the scoring or anything, but stopping Deptford, getting into that transition game, and it didn't work for them throughout the game, and they ended up, it cost them a 24-point victory for Deptford. That's something that I don't think anybody really thought that would happen this year. But one of the other things is the fact that I think you really alluded to is this team might be a little bit tired. They have a lot of games not deep on the bench, so you get in a team that likes to run, has the depth that they have, they're going to struggle.
Well, and for Pitman, a team gearing up for the playoffs as well. Obviously, stepping up in class here against a Deptford team that went to this and won the South Jersey Championship, but they'll be primed and ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. You just look at the guys behind us. They're ready to do something. I mean, they're excited about the playoffs. And this is a team that I just love with the depth. They have great coaching. They have the experience of knowing what to do in a South Jersey championship. So when you get into that tournament with the guys that they have good leadership. This team, I like the way they're playing as a team as well. All those little things really looks like this team may make a run. I'm not saying they're going to make a run like they did last year, but they're a team that you probably don't want to face in Group 3 because of the history of the program and the way that they play as a team. Who do you say we're going to take away? Because somebody else is going to beat you. And then they have the bench scoring. There's a lot of things you have to worry about if you're playing against a Deptford team.
Well, that'll do it from Deptford High School. For my producer, Kevin Lamastra, my stat man, Mike DeChico, my partner, Shawn Leary, I'm Rob Christ. Again, the final score, Deptford victorious, 78-54. Good night, everybody.